How's it going, everyone? Outlaw Client here, back once again this week for another episode of the weekly podcast zone. And last week's episode, we spoke a little bit about Sony's final showcase or games showcase, and alongside PS5 price reveal, and that'll be their final one before the console actually launches. So if you're interested in seeing our thoughts and opinions on that, then I definitely recommend checking that out. But for this week, we will be delving into a little game known as Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and I can imagine that if the majority of you guys are regular viewers, you'd know that this is a game that is very, very near and dear to my heart as well. And of course, I play a lot of Smash Bros. On this channel. But anyway, before I go into the new DLC stuff reveals, some of our or some of those DLC characters that came out that got the fan base, the Smash fan base, very riled up alongside breaking Twitter. But anyway, before I get into any of that, I'd like to say once again, I'm joined by a friend of mine, TakuStar.
Hey guys, what's up?
And as I was saying, we'll be talking a bit about the DLC that recently came out, alongside our thoughts on other characters we'd like to see in the future, and even some crazy picks that you might not expect us to choose. But anyway, so going back to the start of the month on the 1st of October, Masahiro Sakurai revealed our latest DLC character, aka the 7th challenger. And this challenger was, of course, Minecraft Steve. Now, going over the trailer, I was kind of shocked myself. Like, they first showed all the first-party characters, like, they had Mario, the main first-party characters, and then they showed huge third-party mascots like Pikachu. I guess Pikachu's still first-party, but they had Cloud Strife and Sonic the Hedgehog. And when I saw the start of that trailer, I thought, oh, okay, this has to be another huge third-party mascot-type character, and I kind of thought it was going to be Crash Bandicoot. But lo and behold, we got Minecraft Steve in all of his blocky goodness, I guess. TakuStar, how did you feel about this trailer? I mean, how did you feel about Minecraft Steve? Was it expecting, or?
I mean, they definitely was a sucker punch. I didn't expect it. I mean, it's good that he's there, but obviously I've never played Minecraft. Like, I played it once, I think, back in the day on Xbox 360, but I was just never impressed by it. But obviously I can understand why there's a lot of younger people that played Minecraft and stuff, and obviously they're quite they've got an affinity with the series, so I could understand why why Twitter blew up with the announcement and stuff. But it just didn't hit me, or for all the right reasons. It was just a sucker punch.
Yeah, so much like you, actually, I'm not really too well versed in the Minecraft game or Minecraft lore or anything Minecraft in general, to be honest. But I will say that I've had 10 minutes experience playing Minecraft, or maybe less than 10 minutes. But I mean, not because I didn't like the game, but it was mostly just because I think I had like lectures or something just before I started playing. But either way, didn't have much time. I had to go and do stuff after, but I didn't have much time to go back and play Minecraft because I was very busy during that time. But again, it's not a character like, for me, it's probably the most neutral character you could pick. I mean, as I said, I don't really know too much about Minecraft, but at the same time, I know that it's the best-selling game of all time. So I kind of feel like I can't really say, I don't think he deserved it or anything like that. I think it's definitely deserved, and I will say this is probably like the very first DLC character that's actually bigger than Smash Bros. Ultimate. So again, I think that this will really be bringing in fans, or a huge number of fans from the Minecraft community. But in terms of the actual reveal trailer, I don't think there's been any DLC characters so far that I've actually disliked the DLC trailer. I mean, as I said, it started off with like a lot of mystery, Sonic punching Mario into the Minecraft world, and we also got to see as well, like, not only Steve but also Alex, the female alternative costume, alongside Enderman and Zombie as well. So really cool. I mean, again, I'm sure Minecraft fans would absolutely love the fan service there. But overall, I just think he was definitely a character, or I should say, well-deserved character. And again, as I said, he'll just be bringing in a ton of Minecraft fans in general. Now, trailer aside, in terms of his gameplay style, now, I mean, some of this was covered in the trailer, the initial reveal trailer, but 2 days later, on the 3rd of October, Sakurai had a Sakurai Presents, which is pretty much what he's done with all the DLC characters, where he just goes over their move sets, their stages, and everything that they'll bring to the table. Now his gameplay style was very odd, and actually, before I go into the gameplay style, I should mention as well. Now before the Steve reveal trailer, I kind of thought that there was always going to be some Minecraft content, like in between the leaks and the fact that it's the biggest game of all time. I kind of thought it was just going to be like a Minecraft stage, and that was something I was really looking forward to because I thought the environments always look amazing, like how much stuff you can create in those games. But in terms of gameplay style, very, very odd character, very, very strange, and I'd probably say without a doubt the most unique character in the game so far, DLC and base roster. TakuStar, what were your thoughts on Steve / Alex's game style?
Yeah, so I managed to play as Steve on Thursday UK time that he was released. I thought he was a bit too technical because for me Smash has always been like a fighting game, and I always think it kind of sucks in fighting games where players have to keep a lot of resource management whilst they're trying to like fight their opponent. So I found that very hard when I was using Steve during my time with him. So I played like 2 matches with him, and I was like, yeah, I'm done. I think this is it for me.
Oh no love for Steve.
Yeah,
well,
I mean, there's already a lot to manage in life already, so why would I need to manage like all this crafting stuff just for a sword and stuff like that?
That is very true. I mean, he's, as you said, he is a very, very complex character. There's a lot to Steve, and I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say he is the most complex character in the game so far. Since the date that Steve was revealed, I think it was back on Thursday, like we were talking about before. I've put in so many hours into this character so far, and if you plan to pick up this character, I was going to say before you mentioned that, if you plan to pick up this character and play him in like 2 or 3 hours, then you're going to be very, very disappointed because there's a lot to this character. And as you said, a lot of management, kind of like with Hero, where he has his mana bar. But I mean, there's still a lot more because you've got the different types of blocks. So in case you guys aren't aware, or you didn't watch much of Sakurai Presents, Steve has like different types of blocks that he can mine if you hold down the B button. So he's got the standard dirt. Then there's the cobblestone, there's iron, and then there's like I should say there's iron, there's gold, and there's diamond as well, actually, because you can forge your weapons. But a lot of different materials that you can forge, and it has different properties on his moves and everything. But just a ton of different moves. Again, iron being his most important resource, and stages as well. Like when you have different stages, he'll mine different materials, or they'll appear more often. So the thing about Steve as well is that I think the iron, is it iron? Yeah, the iron is like the most important resource that he has. And if you don't have enough iron, then you can't use the down air, which is the anvil move where he drops the giant anvil on you. His down throw, which also has the anvil, and of course the most important thing for Steve, the minecart, which is the minecart is an absolute menace. You might as well just call it Minecart the character, because in my time that I've played with Steve, you just want to be spamming that side B all the time, because you can like pull opponents down to their doom into the blast zone with that. But as you were saying, he is a very complex character. There's a lot to him, and it's even worth noting as well during Sakurai Presents, Sakurai, because Nintendo were the ones who selected Steve, and they constantly kept on asking him, "Oh, can you put Minecraft Steve in the game? Can you put him in?" Because Mojang, which is the studio which originally created Minecraft, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but they said that it took up to 5 years to negotiate Steve for Smash Brothers, so they've been negotiating all this time. But anyway, the point I was trying to make was that Sakurai had to essentially alter every single stage in the game in order to allow for Steve's block placements to work properly. So don't be fooled by his 2D blocky animations. He was definitely not an easy character to develop. But yeah, as I was saying, very complex gameplay style, and I think that as time goes on, we'll be finding a lot of stuff for Steve in the future, maybe even for years to come. He has like his offstage game as well, like he can create blocks like in Minecraft, and he can gimp so many characters. Like you have a teleporting character like Palutena or Mewtwo. They use their up B and you place a block down, they're not getting back on the stage again. You might as well put your controller down, because they're not going to be getting back on the stage again. But as I was saying, if I had to rate him in terms of like placement, how good I think he's like a high tier character. He's not like top tier like Joker, but I'm I really think he might be like the second or third strongest DLC character that's been released so far. But yeah, as I was saying, I know you only played Steve for a little while and you weren't too impressed, but I advise anyone who is looking to play Steve, maybe you're a huge Minecraft fan as well, you really want to try out Steve, I definitely recommend putting in the hours to Steve if you want to feel satisfied after, because he has a lot of potential, and I think, as I was saying, he could be a very strong counterpick character for like long range zoners and stuff like that. He kind of struggles against characters that rush him down quickly, like Sonic and Cloud and so on, but on the whole, as I said, I think he's got a lot of potential. Now, well, actually, TakuStar, do you have anything else to add about Steve?
No, that's it. I think
not too much.
Yeah, not too much. What I said is how I feel. Maybe this time, if I get some more time with him, I'll probably give him a go. But I can't see myself. I just don't like characters where I have to micromanage a lot of that stuff. Like it's just not fun for me, because I have to end up like having to have I got enough this and that to do this move, and it's not really. I'd rather just have those things already. And I'd rather have my moveset be based on whether the timing of that move is, whether like if it's a low punch or a high punch, if it's the move's quick or not and stuff like that. Just all that micromanagement stuff isn't for me. Yeah. Personally, yeah.
Understandable. As you said, it's not going to be for everyone. There's a lot of extra strategy involved if playing the fast-paced fighting game wasn't difficult enough. But yeah, actually, one other thing I want to mention before I move on from Steve is just the fact that the stage as well. It's not completely a brand new mechanic, because back in like Smash Wii U, I was going to say you could like change some stages, like the classic Kirby's Dreamland stage. If you held down a certain button, you could change the color of the stage from like the monochrome Game Boy color to black and white. But the thing about Steve's Minecraft World stage is that if you hold down a certain combination of buttons, you can like completely change the stage, or the biomes that they call them in Minecraft. So, say if you have like a normal grassy terrain, if you hold down, I believe it's L trigger, A, and down as you select it on the stage select screen, then you can change it to like a winter themed stage. And I think in total it has like 4 different versions or 4 different variations of the stage. So I think that's a pretty cool feature, honestly. Pretty unique for Smash Ultimate. And
Sorry, carry on. I was just
going
to say regarding Steve, have you seen the windscreen pictures that have been flying around?
Oh yes, I've been seeing that. I've been seeing those windscreen pictures. That's oh no, I don't know how that one got past Q&A. I don't know how that got past Nintendo. But let's just say Steve is getting too happy about that meat. It's just he's showing that meat way too much.
Yeah.
But actually, speaking of the meat, like even in the trailer, like after his final smash where he puts them in the room and has the TNT and he's just there eating the meat, like it just feels like it was like some fan-made trailer. Honestly, that is like the biggest troll move ever, just eating the meat after. But I don't know, maybe that's a huge part of Minecraft. Again, I'm not a Minecraft expert, but either way, that meat is causing some problems around social media. That's all I can see. Anyway, but yeah, with the biome stage select thing, I think that's pretty cool, and it's definitely something I want to see in future stages, especially with in the competitive scene as well. Certain people want certain hazards off, like some stages, for example, like the Breath of the Wild stage. It's not a tournament legal stage because of that huge tower at the top. It's just a bit annoying. But when you break the tower in normal hazards on mode, it reveals like a single platform, and it's a pretty good tournament legal stage. But of course, just the whole starting point, the fact that you can't just toggle it so that it's just the middle platform with hazards off, that's a bit annoying. So again, if Sakurai added a feature where you could like have button combinations and you could disable certain features on the map, I think that'd be a huge feature for the competitive Smash. But anyway, overall, TakuStar, what do you think? Does Steve get a thumbs up from you, or is that going to be a thumbs down?
It's going to be a thumbs down from me.
Thumbs down. For me, I think I'm going to give him a thumbs up, honestly. I didn't think I'd like Steve. I'm not a huge Minecraft guy, but in terms of moveset, really unique, and if you do put in the time, he's I think he's quite a rewarding character. But again, like you said, not for everyone. Now, Minecraft Steve aside, I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the previous DLC character picks. Now, I know some of these characters have joined Smash from like more than a year ago. I mean, I think with Joker, it's like approaching 2 years at this point. But some of the previous DLC characters, I kind of wanted to go over them because we didn't have this podcast. We didn't have a podcast around at the time where the DLC characters started being revealed. So, going in order, TakuStar, how did you feel about Joker, our very first Smash Brothers DLC character that was announced on the Game Awards, which was the midnight or the midnight launch of Smash Brothers? How do you feel about Joker?
That was crazy because that's when I realized that the Persona series has become like mainstream now. Obviously, having Joker in Super Smash Brothers was a big deal. So even the inclusion of him being in the game is a nice addition to the roster. It's quite if you know how to use him, he's a formidable foe. He's a nice character to play with, and he's not too technical where I have to like micromanage all these different stuff. So that was definitely a good addition, and I think it was well deserved as well. Not saying that obviously Steve deserved it as well. I'm just saying Persona, the series has been it's been like a miss for a lot of people, but I think it was well deserved for Joker to be in there.
Yeah, no, I agree completely as well. Like Joker caught me so off guard because, as far as I'm aware, I don't think it's been on the Nintendo system, has it? Like Persona 5 definitely isn't on the Nintendo.
No, Persona 5 hasn't, but you've had like Persona Q and stuff like that. So
that's true. Yeah, that was was that the 3DS one?
There's the 3DS one too.
Yeah, the 3DS one. But in terms of like Persona 5, that was like a PS4 exclusive. So I was really, really shocked because I thought it was just another trailer for just another Persona game for PlayStation. But as you said, and also I don't want to say no disrespect to any Shin Megami Tensei fans. We do love Shin Megami Tensei as well, but it's just Persona and Joker, we can't deny it was very, very stylish. But in terms of like actual gameplay, I think as well, Joker, arguably the best character in the game. I just remember that was the first DLC character guide, or even first Smash Brothers character guide I made on my channel. And Joker with Arsene, because he's got a meter for Arsene, and man, Joker is just insanely powerful. He's kind of like a mix between Sheik and Ganondorf. He's got the speed of Sheik, but also he hits like Ganondorf once he gets Arsene. So a really strong addition. I don't think too broken. He wasn't quite Smash Wii U Bayonetta, but still a really, really nice addition. And I have to admit, bringing the last surprise to Smash Brothers soundtrack and just Persona soundtrack in general was a really cool addition. So Joker, definitely one of my favorite additions out of the DLC characters. So moving on from Joker, we had our second DLC pack, and this was Hero from the Dragon Quest series. Now, Hero is from the Square Enix franchise as well, so looking back at Cloud, we knew that we weren't going to get too many music tracks. Of course, Cloud's sitting at a lovely 2 music tracks total. But in terms of like Hero's trailer and gameplay and everything, I thought it was pretty cool. Like, again, Dragon Quest is one of those games that I've never played. It's absolutely massive in Japan, though, when you think about it. It's been going for a very long time, and TakuStar, as you've told me in the past, Dragon Quest inspired a lot of the modern day RPGs that we see, or JRPGs that we see. So really cool addition in my opinion. And the fact that we had all the different heroes as well, because there were rumors going around about Erdrick being the main Dragon Quest guy, but no, we had a few different heroes from the different versions. I know that 11 was one of them, alongside Erdrick, the most the most iconic of the heroes. I mean, that's the one I recognize the most, and I've never played a Dragon Quest game, but no, in terms of the reveal trailer, I thought it was pretty cool, coming in on a horse and like fighting. It made it look really cinematic, and I thought that was cool. Now, in terms of his actual gameplay, this is I think TakuStar, I know you're probably not going to be a fan of this one, but of course Hero brought with him his 1,000 or so moves, or maybe slight exaggeration there, but about 20 moves, and he had like a mana bar as well. And of course, he has all of his different moves like Kaboom, Whack, which can instantly kill you. Sizzle, Kamikaze, yes, Kamikaze, Magic Burst. He has a ton of really useful moves, but also really janky ones and just plain unfair ones as well. TakuStar, how did you feel about Hero?
Yeah, like it's like the inclusion of obviously Dragon Quest, arguably one of the biggest games in Japan, one of the biggest game series in Japan.
Mm.
People like take it's like when a Dragon Quest game comes out, it's like a national holiday. People skip like they go to work and stuff. So yeah, I think it was only a matter of time until they included Dragon Quest in some manner in Smash. But yeah, no, obviously the inclusion of Dragon Quest in Smash is good. But yeah, like as I was saying before, I'm not really a big fan of micromanaging characters in fighting games. It's just yeah, it's not really worth the time.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm happy for the inclusion of him, just not how he was implemented in his moveset and stuff like that. But yeah, it's good to have him there.
Yeah, same. I agree as well. Like, to be completely honest, I think Hero is probably my second most played DLC character, or maybe even like second most played character in the game, possibly.
Oh wow!
I use Hero a lot, and I was really surprised because again, Dragon Quest. This is like the only DLC character that I've never apart from one other, which I'll get to. But this is one of the DLC characters that I've never played a game in their series, so I was really surprised that I loved playing as him so much. But in terms of like competitive viability, I think he's an underrated character. A lot of people say that he's like his normal attacks, like his aerial moves are really slow. The frame data isn't the best. It's a lot slower than most other characters. But honestly, I think his spells more than make up for it. Like his neutral B, the fire move, which charges up in 3 different stages, alongside his side B as well. I think it's Kafriz, and of course his menu, which is just crazy. You know, you get Magic Burst, you get Kamikaze. But in jokes aside, like the Kaboom move is absolutely ridiculous. It comes out very quickly, and it's close to impossible to react to, and it does a ton of damage, up to like 40% damage, which is no joke in this game. But all in all, I think again, Hero, as you said, really good inclusion, and of course the stage as well. I think it's Yggdrasil's altar.
Yggdrasil. Yeah,
Yggdrasil's altar was again. It was one of those stages Sakurai said he nearly gave up on because it was just so much detail in the background. But again, probably one of my favorite DLC stages as well, alongside Mementos. Now, moving on from Hero, and also I should mention as well, before I move on from him, there was a lot of controversy in the beginning about Hero, whether he should be banned in competitive games, and Australia, and Australia even banned him for some tournaments in Australia even banned him for like I think it was like 2 weeks or something like that. But it was kind of stupid because he wasn't that good of a character. You just choose a rush down character, someone who doesn't give him a chance to open the menu, and Hero's pretty much finished.
Yeah,
he's definitely no joker, but again, I still think he's a bit of an underrated character. But anyway, moving on from Hero, we had our third DLC character, and this was Banjo and Kazooie. So, TakuStar, how did you feel about Banjo and Kazooie?
I've never played the Banjo Kazooie game apart from Nuts and Bolts, and obviously that was just one game, and also I enjoyed the card creation aspect of that game. And I wasn't really attached to the characters as like people that grew up playing Nintendo 64 and stuff. So yeah, yeah,
no, understandable. Now, actually, going to the trailer first, the Banjo and Kazooie trailer. Again, like I said, I'm in a similar boat to you. I haven't played much of Banjo Kazooie. I think once again I played about an hour of it on Rare Replay, the classic Banjo Kazooie. And again, I didn't stop playing it because I disliked it. It's just because I was doing other stuff at the time. But it seemed like a decent game. I didn't really get to experience too much of it. But as I said, again, I didn't have too much experience with the Banjo Kazooie franchise. I know a ton of people played this game, especially from America. A ton of people played Banjo Kazooie in America. In their childhood. So I think it's understandable inclusion. A lot of the fans wanted him. But yeah, no, I mean, I did love the reveal. Once again, I love the reveal trailer. I think one theme in Smash DLC characters is the fact that the DLC trailers always seem to be of high quality. So you had the whole DK and DK, King K. Rool and Diddy Kong sleeping, and then they had Duck Hunt trolling, pretending to be Banjo Kazooie, and of course they had just a ton of references to the games, like beating, like when they beat down King K. Rool and they put the boulder on top of him, kind of like with I think there's Gruntilda in the Banjo Kazooie game. But a ton of fan service in that trailer, and just nods that only fans would get. But anyway, Moving on to the actual gameplay. Now, Banjo Kazooie, again, I kind of feel like they're an underrated character. I know a lot of people think, oh, Banjo Kazooie, then they're the least powerful of the DLC characters, but I kind of feel like he has some potential. He kind of feels like a Snake, a bear version of Snake. He's like the same weight as Snake as well. He didn't really have any crazy gimmicks like, Heroes, mana.
And he's got that crazy side B.
Exactly. Where... So he has no mana and no Arsene like Joker. But as you said, his side B, aka the Wonder Wing, is ridiculous. So he gets 5 of those per stock, and it's essentially a completely invincible move, which will deal a ton of damage, a ton of knockback as well. And as I said, it's completely invincible, apart from grabs, which I'll get to a bit later with some of the other characters that can counter. But other than grabs, which are really risky, I mean, if your timing is off even by a second, then they're going to hit you with that Wonder Wing, and you're going to take a lot of damage or even a KO. But in terms of all-around gameplay, kind of similar to Snake. It's like a zoning character. You when you're playing as Banjo and Kazooie, you kind of want to keep the opponent away and use the eggs, the Breagle Blaster, and all those moves just to keep them away. Which I think a lot of Banjo Kazooie fans weren't too happy because they just didn't like how annoying his gameplay style was. But again, as I said, if you play patiently, I think he's quite a decent character. He's not quite as strong as Snake, but still a really solid character. And just in terms of animations and stuff, they've really put a lot of attention to detail. Of course, he came with Spiral Mountain, his DLC stage, and had a ton of Grant Kirkhope inspired tracks.
Do you know one funny thing about that stage? I didn't know it was a Banjo Kazooie stage beforehand. I thought it was a
like Conker's Bad Fur Day or something.
No, I thought it was a Xenoblade.
Seriously, Xenoblade?
Yeah, that's before I saw is it Grunty? What's it?
Gruntilda.
Yeah, until I saw her the thing, and I was like, oh wow, so it's a Banjo Kazooie.
Yeah, that was a Banjo Kazooie Xenoblade crossover there with Metal Face takes on Gruntilda. Nah, that would have been pretty cool actually. I'm kind of thinking back to the game that must not be named, the All Stars Battle Royale, which kind of started to fuse stages in together. That was kind of cool. That was actually one of the coolest features I thought in that game. But anyway, rip-offs aside, back to Smash Brothers. But yeah, no, I thought it was a pretty cool stage, and I really did like the music selection as well. Again, I do quite like the Grant Kirkhope tracks. I think they're pretty cool. But overall, I think again, a huge fan favorite inclusion. I think not as big as the other DLC characters, apart from this last one that I'll get to soon. But yeah, overall solid pick and one that pleased the fans. Now, next up we had Terry Bogard. So we went back to the SNK days, or the Neo Geo days, I should say. And Terry Bogard, this is one of my personal favorite DLC or Season 1 DLC trailers, because if you guys follow my channel, you know that I'm a huge fighting game guy. But anyway, the trailer pretty much starts out with all the classic SNK characters like Fatal Fury and King of Fighters characters like Geese Howard all fighting over the letter, which I think again was animated so well because it was in the Neo Geo style, which was really cool. And then of course there was like Nakaruru as well, like just a ton of like Samurai Showdown characters and so on. And of course in the end, none other than SNK's poster boy Terry Bogard was the one who got the letter, and of course he represents Fatal Fury. Now I have to admit as well, the Terry model looked incredible. It looked much better than the King of Fighters, their first 3D outing. But then again, I don't think that's hard to accomplish. Yeah. But no, really good character model for Terry right off the bat, which was something that I was really impressed by. Actually, before I get into Terry, we got to talk about those music tracks, because I don't know if you saw how many they included, but definitely by far the most music tracks out of any DLC franchise. So not 1, not 2, not 10, not 20, but 50 music tracks were included with the SNK one, which ranged from Fatal Fury, King of Fighters, and even games like Metal Slug and Samurai Showdown. Like that was such a huge list of music. But before I go on too much, TakuStar, how did you feel about Terry?
Yeah, so till this day, I think Terry's probably the best DLC character in terms of like ever. they've put in Smash, and he's pretty fun to use as well. And I like how they kept his voice acting as well, still like Japanese and English like mixed together. So it's quite, it's pretty cool. No, he's fun to play with. Nice surprise. Yeah, and I feel like because obviously SNK they hadn't been making games for a while, so I think the reason why there's so many tracks in the game like showcasing SNK is because they're sort of like trying to get their brand awareness out there again, I think. Yeah. Because there was a time when they were quiet, when they weren't releasing anything, but obviously now they're a bit more vocal with their games and stuff like that. So I'd imagine they were thinking, oh yeah, if we have like these many tracks in Smash, like people will recognize, oh yeah, remember SNK? There were those guys that made Metal Slug and King of Fighters and Fatal Fury. They might be bringing out a new game, and Terry's in Smash. We should get the next game to release type stuff. So and it's good that they've started releasing more games as well. Well, because now they've just released Samurai Showdown as well, which came out recently. Yes, that's true. Yeah. So yeah, now Terry's a pleasure to be. I think it's definitely a well-deserved character.
No, I agree as well. I agree, and it all does check out, because when you think about it, Super Smash Bros. It's such a huge. It's pretty much the biggest video game crossover. Yeah. I think on any platform that I can think of. So, in terms of advertisement, you're right. It definitely puts your characters on the map. And again, Terry Bogard is practically the poster boy for SNK, so it seems like the perfect choice. I have to admit, though, I know a lot of Smash fans, they actually didn't know who he was. I mean, I know in Latin America, Terry Bogard is absolutely massive. Like King of Fighters is a massive series, and just SNK stuff in general is really big over there. But a lot of Smash players didn't actually know who Terry Bogard was, which was kind of, it surprised me in a way, because a lot more people seem to know Banjo Kazooie than Terry Bogard, which I thought Banjo Kazooie was more of a niche character. But I think at the end of the day, Banjo Kazooie came out on the N64, so it kind of makes sense. But no, Terry Bogard is most definitely a legend in the fighting game community. But yeah, definitely, as you said, a well-deserved inclusion. Now, in terms of his actual gameplay style as well, he did have a gimmick. Unlike Banjo, he does have like a huge gimmick, aka the classic DLC character gimmick, or DLC jank, as a lot of people like to call it. But anyway, so once Terry Bogard's health goes to 100% or over 100%, he'll be able to use Buster Wolf alongside Power Geyser as well, which are two incredibly powerful moves. Now, if you've seen any competitive footage, you know that these moves can amount in some massive comebacks, and the fact that he's a heavyweight as well, he's like a super heavyweight. For some reason, he weighs more than like Ridley and Samus, and it's kind of crazy how heavy he is. But again, the fact that he's so heavy, it means that it takes him such a long time to will take the opponent such a long time to KO him. Now, in terms of actual gameplay, how did you feel about him, TakuStar?
I thought he was alright. I haven't played him as much, but I think I played like one game from what I played. It was all right, decent inclusion. Wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I agree. He's a solid character, and I think as well he's one of those underrated characters. He, as I mentioned, with the Power Geyser and the Buster Wolf, he really does have the potential for making huge comebacks. But again, another fighting game style character, and he has like actual button, like fireball inputs and stuff like that.
Yeah, so, exactly. Yeah, isn't it your moves, your normal his normal input moves from the fighting games add more damage as well, don't they?
Exactly. Yeah. So it gives you more damage, and you're more invincible on some of the moves as well. And it's actually the first character in the game to have charge moves as well. So that was a big inclusion, I guess. But fighting game. If you're a fighting game fan, you'll definitely feel right at home playing as Terry Bogard, because one thing that Sakurai always gets right is just how he represents the characters. He really makes them feel like they're in there, or he really makes them play like they do in their classic games.
I will say though, actually, note aside, Ryu is one of the worst characters in the game, I think.
No way. I'm Ryu is my secondary character. I can't have Mouth in Ryu like that.
Yeah, he just feels really. Maybe it's because of the Smash physics. I don't know, but he just feels really weird to use.
So I'll say that Ryu is without a doubt one of the most difficult characters to use in the game. I'd probably say second or third, behind maybe Sheik and Ice Climbers. But his Ryu is a very, very difficult character to use. Like, it took me a solid, like, no exaggeration, it took me like a solid month of playing him consistently to even get him into Elite Smash. And honestly, with the other characters, it took me like a day or two. But it actually took me a month to like get used to Ryu's gameplay style. And again, I honestly think he's like high tier character, like just off slightly below top tier, because he's you know, the red fireball, the Shakanetsu. Yeah. It's one of the best projectiles in the game, easily. It breaks your shield so easily, and Ryu has a lot of setups to like break your shield as well. And his Shoryuken, his true Shoryuken, if you put in the true input, well, actually, I will say that. Oh, I was gonna say, if you put in the true input of Shoryuken, you can KO opponents as early as like 60%. It's really powerful. But I will say that when the game first came out, before the buffs, he was one of the worst characters in the game. Like, he couldn't string together combos properly, and he just didn't work very well as a character. But after the I believe it was actually the Terry Bogard patch, they gave him a lot more stronger options, like his Hurricane Kick, the Tatsumaki KOs. It KOs really early. Trust me, if you play Ryu now, you'll see the true terror that this guy can cause to a lot of characters, because he KOs characters very early. But as you were saying, he feels very difficult. If you're
very floaty.
Yeah, he is kind of floaty. But again, if you're going into Smash Brothers, I definitely do not recommend. I'd say stay away from Ryu at all costs, and stick with a character like Pit or someone who's more easy to learn at first. But if you, again, like with Minecraft Steve, if you put in the time, you will get some good results. You'll be catching a lot of people off guard with him. But anyway, back to the DLC characters. Sorry, I had to defend Ryu, one of my favorite characters to players. But I agree, he was very awkward to players when I first picked him up. Not quite as good as he was in Smash Wii U, but still a really strong character. But anyway, so moving on to the final character of the first DLC pack, we have Byleth. Now,
I really enjoy using Byleth. I actually really enjoy it.
Yeah, let's start on your thoughts then. So you enjoyed Byleth?
I didn't enjoy the inclusion of another Fire Emblem character, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That I was like, what, another one? Like, I was just like, how many more of these are we gonna have? But
I think 90% of the Smash community can agree with you there.
Yeah. But after like using him, and obviously he plays very different from all the other Fire Emblem characters. He's for me. I like heavy characters, because when I'm playing Smash and stuff, if I'm using Ganon and I'm like charging, doing like a charge attack, and I hit someone, I go, I'm always shouting. So if I'm using Byleth, he's got a lot of like heavy hitting moves. Yeah. So it's fun, and obviously you get KOs quick, especially if you're playing against people who use light characters. You're gonna knock them out quick, and his recovery is insane. Like, that recovery. It's crazy, and how you can also use it as an attack as well, to combo as well, to do like combos is insane. Like, so he's been a joy to play. Like, I've been playing mostly Ganon and him the most.
Oh really? In Byleth, a lot of Byleth. Yeah. Well, actually, going back to the reveal trailer. Now, just the fact that all the other DLC characters were third-party characters, I think that alone kind of is what got a lot of people disappointed. Once again, I haven't played. This is the second game that I was talking about that I haven't played at all. Never actually played a Fire Emblem game, apart from like a Fire Emblem. Which one was it? I think it was Awakening, a 3DS demo that I played for a bit. But other than that, I've never actually played a full game. But just the fact that it was a first-party Nintendo character in a game, as you mentioned, a character from a game that already has a ton of characters. Even though it's not as popular here in the West, although I will say it is very popular in Japan. Fire Emblem is very popular in Japan, so it's understandable why they included Byleth. But as you mentioned, I personally think as well, I think Byleth is the most interesting out of all the Fire Emblem characters, in my opinion. Of course, you got Robin, who uses the spells and everything, but it's not really. I don't know. Robin's not really my type of playstyle. But in terms of Byleth, I did think Byleth brought something really unique to the table. And like I was saying before, I mean, I didn't think they'd add another Fire Emblem character, if I'm being honest, but I was saying if they did decide to add another Fire Emblem character, I'd want them to play a lot more different. Like again, we have Marth, Lucina, Chrom, and Roy, Marth, Lucina, Chrom, and Roy, which who have very similar playstyles. I mean, they're more varied in this time around, but they still, all 4 of their like special moves are practically the same. I mean, maybe
they're all really
slightly
quick. We're all really quick characters as well with
Very quick
counters,
characters.
whereas Byleth has he's got none of that.
Yeah.
So he and she have none of that. But yeah, it was interesting having a character like that. And also, I love the down B smash. It hits hard.
It does hit hard. It does hit hard. I have to admit, in terms of like competitive smash, I think a lot of people can avoid that one because it's such a slow.
Oh yeah,
move.
of course, yeah.
Very, very satisfying to use once you land it though. I can't deny that.
That's why I'll tell you I've been using a lot of Ganon because I just find it very, when you're using heavy characters, it's just so satisfying once you get a hit. Like I don't know, I just find the heavy characters just really satisfying to use.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I have to admit, moving to the competitive side, the best player in the world is actually uses Byleth quite a bit as like a secondary character. So
okay.
Again, Byleth, not super played. I don't see Byleth too often online, but again, there are people that play Byleth. And again, I think Byleth is another solid all-round DLC character as well. Definitely no weakling. But yeah, that was Byleth was there to round off the end of the first DLC Challenger Pack.
How many? I'm just wondering. I forgot. How many more characters are left? Should be like 2 or something, right?
Oh, what, on the second Challenger Pack?
Yeah.
4 more characters to go. 4 whole characters to go. Yes,
yeah,
we've got a lot of characters. But before we get into that, I want to talk about possibly my favorite, or probably my favorite DLC inclusion. We have this is the start of the second Challenger Pack, and this was Min Min from ARMS. I know you probably forgot about Min Min before. I know ARMS is a really, really niche game. I know not many people were super hyped when this ARMS announcement was made because, again, this was only announced in a mini direct, and Sakurai the announcer just straight up said, "Oh, this is going to be a character from ARMS." Although they didn't reveal the specific character in that direct, they did to say, "Oh, they'll be from ARMS." And again, very different from the previous reveal trailers where there was kind of a build up on the trailer, and you didn't even know what series it was until later on in the trailer. So it was kind of like an anti-hype reveal. But as I've said in the past, or as you know, ARMS is still one of my favorite Nintendo franchises. One of my favorite Switch games as well. So just seeing the fact that they added an ARMS character was like amazing for me. But I mean, how did you feel about that initial reveal?
I don't remember. I don't even remember watching the
I think that might
review.
sum it up there.
Yeah, like I just remember, oh, Min Min's in the game. Wow. Like I just played it. But I remember, I will say, the people I was around with when it was happening, yeah, they're not really big fans of of the game. They weren't really big fans of her, and obviously the game as well.
All right.
But yeah, I haven't even had a chance to use it. I don't know why. I just haven't had a chance to use it. But I think, yeah, since when Byleth got announced, I've just been Byleth, Ganon, Bowser. That's all I've played, like those 3.
All the heavyweights.
Yeah.
All the heavyweights. But anyway, as you mentioned, yeah, Min Min. So later on in the second reveal, or in just before the Sakurai Presents, that was when he revealed Min Min, which I think is like the latest he's ever revealed a DLC character.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I said, I was kind of hoping for. I know you don't know too much about ARMS, but there's quite a few characters. Like all the characters.
I said I wanted the ninja guy. Remember, that's who I said.
Ninjara.
Yeah, I said him or the mummy guy. Those are my two favorite.
Oh yeah, Master Mummy. Yeah, Master Mummy was pretty cool as well. I kind of wanted to see a Kid Cobra or Twintel. I mean, Kid Cobra is like my favorite ARMS character, but I don't think he really had the fan support. But no, Min Min was not only a popular character, but she was also the developer's Mr. aka Mr. Yabuki. Yeah, that was his favorite character as well. So when Sakurai asked, he said, "Oh, who should I put in the game?" He straight away just said, "Oh, add Min Min." So I think Min Min would have been in anyway.
Yeah.
But again, all ARMS characters I think had really unique designs, and I don't think it's possible just to do like have them as alternate costumes. But during the Sakurai Presents, he did mention, he said, "Oh, Ninjara was one of those characters that he heavily considered," but of course the developer, Mr. Yabuki, just straight away said Min Min. So yeah, actually I have to admit I was kind of happy in a way when it wasn't Ninjara, because I thought it would clash with one of my most wanted characters, which I'll get to a bit later. But there's only room for one ninja, I think, in my opinion.
Naruto.
Of course, Naruto Uzumaki himself. But Nah. Jokes aside, yeah. But actually, in terms of, I know you said you haven't tried much of Min Min's gameplay, but I will say Min Min is probably my number one most used character at the moment.
Oh wow.
Up there with Game & Watch, but in terms of DLC characters, by far my most used DLC character. She plays very differently to all of the other characters, and some people might even say anti-hype fighting style, kind of like zoning, but very, very powerful character, honestly. I think Min Min is, I think she's a potential just under top tier. Her recovery's too bad, her airspeed and recovery is too rubbish to be like a top tier, like a Joker type quality character. But in terms of gameplay, she's just a really, really good character. Good range, quite quick moves as well up front, and pretty much a lot of features that high tier characters have, in my opinion. But yeah, and also of course the fact that she can switch between the three arms seamlessly. Like there's next to no delay, and she's got the dragon arm which has extra range, and the ram which is kind of like a chakram, and it can absolutely destroy people that are trying to recover on the edge. It is ridiculous. And then of course you have the megawatt, which is the huge yellow arm, really heavy, and it can KO opponents really early. So I think she's quite a well-rounded character. It's just her recovery is not very good, which kind of makes her not a top tier character. But yeah, as I said, final verdict for Min Min, definitely a thumbs up. And to be honest, kind of I've given a thumbs up to all the DLC characters so far. There hasn't been any DLC characters that I've thought, oh, I just completely hate. But yeah, I mean, overall, TakuStar, what do you think? Highest point for the DLC characters and the lowest point?
Highest point has to be Terry Bogard. Lowest point, Steve's meat.
Steve, oh no, I thought you were gonna say that. But as I was saying, in my opinion, me personally, I don't think there's been any in terms of like characters.
No, I will say I'm not disappointed that Steve's in there. It's just I'm just jabbing, just jabbing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Understandable. We're not really huge Minecraft guys, but as we were saying before, best-selling game of all time, so we can understand the inclusion. Now, moving away from our DLC character thoughts, I kind of wanted to go into territory of characters that you'd like to see, like maybe just 5 characters you'd personally like to. Exactly, yeah, personally. And maybe characters that you think, wait, what did you just say? Was that a Goku?
I was joking.
I just picked up on what you said there, but I mean, hey, come on, I wouldn't be upset with Goku, but I mean, I know Sakurai.
I'd rather not have Goku. Honestly, if Goku gets it, it will a floodgate for like.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, so I think
character.
Yeah, I don't think any fourth party should be allowed. I think it should just be like a strictly video games. But again, I wouldn't be upset if Goku was in there. I'm just throwing that out there, guys. Yeah. I'm just throwing that out there. But yeah, as I was saying, characters you might like. So do you want to start off? Maybe a number 5 or something?
Yeah. So I definitely think I want Klonoa. That's been like I definitely want, because obviously Namco Bandai handled some of the development for Smash. Was it Smash 4 or was it this one?
Yeah, well, both of them actually.
Okay, yeah, so cool. Yeah, I just think, Klonoa deserves some shine of some sorts. So definitely one for me there.
Yeah, no, I agree as well. Klonoa, kind of a character, good platforming game, a cult classic. But hasn't really got much time to shine in recently, and I think didn't Klonoa's movie got cancelled as well? Or?
Yeah, recently, yeah. It's a shame. But apparently, the domain got signed recently, went up in Japan. So hopefully, there might be like a new game in the series coming along, or a remaster. We don't know. So
there might be some hope. Yeah,
fingers crossed.
Yeah. In terms of my number 5, I put down, I'd want to see like a Resident Evil rep, so either Jill Valentine or Leon Kennedy. Now, I do know that there was like a Spirits event, and again, I know this is kind of like a fan-made rule where they say, oh, Spirits probably means that characters won't appear. But I mean, you got Min Min, who was a Spirit before, and she's appeared as a main character. I don't know if that was a one-off exception because it was first-party Nintendo character, who knows. But either way, I think it's not impossible with Sakurai. And again, Resident Evil being such a huge franchise of Capcom's, definitely characters I'd like to see included in there. Even though, again, I'm not the biggest Resident Evil guy, but I kind of know the importance of the franchise. Inspired many different games, some of my favorite games like Dead Space and so on. So yeah, I'd love to see a protagonist from that game. Any personal thoughts from you? A Resident Evil character?
Yeah. If it was, I'd probably want someone like, yeah. I think Jill Valentine.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think either her or Leon Kennedy are like the most
Nintendo-esque.
recognizable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
exactly, and even Nintendo-esque as well type characters.
Yeah.
So how about your number 4 pick?
So my number 4 pick would be the felines from Monster Hunter.
Oh, right, like the Palicos
Yeah, the Palicos, yeah.
Right.
So I feel like, I don't know, they just have they're quite mascot-esque characters, and obviously Monster Hunter is super massive in Japan, and obviously we've already had like Monster Hunter represented in Smash in some manner. So why not have a cute character, a mascot-y character in there? And obviously I think they'd make a good addition to the roster.
Agreed as well. Yeah, I think the Palicos are definitely like on the cartoony side, and they kind of definitely would fit in Smash a bit more than the actual Monster Hunter. Although I wouldn't mind the Monster Hunter, but I kind of feel like again, I agree with you. I think the Palicos or the felines would fit a lot more. But moving on from cartoon, I mean, I just spoke about.
Just imagine, their windscreen. Like I can only be goofy as hell. Like
yeah, we do need a bit of goofiness in Smash. I wouldn't be upset about that. But I mean, just as I've spoken about characters fitting into Smash being cartoony, I'm gonna go and do the complete opposite and say that my number 4 pick that I've noted down would be Lara Croft from. Of course, the Tomb Raider series. Now, look. Okay, I can see that look you're making, but hear me out, guys.
You just want to go on the trophy, That's what you on the trophy view.
No. Listen. No. Lara Croft is an iconic video game character. I mean, I love those. I love the current remakes. I think she could have a good moveset. The bow and arrow, the grappling hooks. Oh man, if you guys could see TakuStar's face, that face of disgust, he just can't accept it. But look, we have a Wii Fit trainer. I think Sakurai can make Lara Croft work. Just my opinion. But I mean, again, she's just lower down on the list, so I mean, you could probably switch my 4 and 5 around, but I still think
I'd definitely switch your 4 and 5. I would do it for you myself.
Nah, I think they could make it. I think he could make it work. I would not be opposed. But again, I wouldn't be upset if she doesn't make it. I'm not really expecting her to make it, but I wouldn't. Let's just say I thought that would be a huge character, like a out of nowhere, kind of like a Cloud type character. You wouldn't see coming. But anyway, actually, did you? Oh yeah, sorry. Let's go to the number 3s now. So TakuStar, I'm guessing by the look on your face, that disgust, I don't think you have too much else to add to Lara Croft. So I think we'll move on swiftly. Who did you put for your number 3?
Chrono from Chrono Trigger.
Oh, Chrono Trigger, yeah.
Yeah, so definitely a Chrono Trigger iconic JRPG, probably regarded as one of the, I think it's in some people's top 10 of games of all time.
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah. I've seen it on people's number 1s. Actually.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's in my top 5 easily. So. I think obviously came out on the Super Nintendo, or if you're from Japan, Famicom.
Yeah.
It's I just think it's a well-deserved series, and obviously it's the closest we'll get to. Obviously, like I was gonna say it's the closest we get to Goku, but Hero's already in the game already.
Yeah, we've got a bit of Toriyama. We've filled the Toriyama quota, I guess, but
we can get more Toriyama in there. Why not? So,
yeah, the more the merrier. So I wouldn't. Again, it's something I wouldn't be opposed to. I've never played Chrono Trigger myself, but I've heard that the name of that game fly around quite a lot. And as I was saying, it's been on a lot of people's top 10 lists and even number 1. So yeah, definitely a character I wouldn't be opposed to. So for my number 3 pick, this was a character that was actually really high up. He was my number 1 at one point during the Smash Wii U days. And that character would be Rayman. Now, Rayman was, again, I know some people aren't a big fan of Rayman, but I kind of think he would really fit. I mean, he's got that cartoony look to him. The first game was like the best-selling PS1 game of all time in the UK. And again, I think Rayman's just had really strong entries in the series. Overall, I think it'd fit really well. I mean, and another thing as well, that Rayman leak back in the Smash Wii U days really stung as well. It still stings to this day, so that was really unfortunate. But I think Rayman has a good moveset potential. again, just from his punches in the classic games to like throwing lums and stuff in some of the more modern games, and again, he could use a ton of different soundtracks from the classics and the modern stuff. So we've got the original trilogy and then Origins, and there are a few spin-offs, but I think the main games will be some of the main things, or the main thing where it inspire his moveset, or his moveset would be inspired from, is what I'm trying to say. And also as well, the music, the Rayman music, I think is top tier as well. So I'd love that a track like that. But I was gonna say, the creator, Ansel, he recently left the video game industry. I know there was a bit of controversy going on there, so I don't know how that fares for the character. Again, at the end of the day, I think these DLC characters were kind of decided a while in advance, so there's that. But no, Rayman's definitely a character I'd like to see in the future. Although I think his chances are a lot lower than before, back in the Wii U days, but still someone I'd love to see. Anyway, next up, TakuStar, would you like to talk about your number 2 pick?
So my number 2 pick, so I've mostly gone for JRPG characters, but my number 2 character is Ryu from Breath of Fire.
Oh, Breath of Fire. Oh, right,
yeah.
Okay then.
Yeah, I just feel like because obviously what's his name? What's the dragon guy from Fire Emblem? That turned into a dragon.
A guy? I'm thinking of Tiki. Is that?
No. He's in the game. He's in Smash. He's the Fire Emblem. Corrin. Yeah. So yeah. So Ryu's quite similar to Corrin. So Ryu can turn into different dragons. I just feel Breath of Fire, iconic Capcom JRPG. They're not releasing so much, but she was very known for being a Nintendo-esque series. So I know obviously Ryu's got quite a iconic look to him, and obviously it'd just be nice for him to be there. And I feel like he'll fit into Smash easily. Yeah, that's my second pick.
I mean, I have to admit, I don't know too much about Ryu. Actually, I was expecting a different Ryu actually when I heard that. But no, I don't know too much about Breath of Fire, to be honest. Yeah, I know very little about it. But again, there can never be too many dragons, in my opinion. We've got Corrin, we've got Ridley, so more dragons. I'll be happy with more dragons, and even Min to an extent, because she's got the dragon arm. So
yeah, exactly.
That's fine. But I do like my dragons. I can't lie.
Yeah.
That was your number 2 pick, wasn't it?
That was my number 2 pick. Yeah.
So going on to my number 2 pick, we have a character that's quite a cult classic, pretty big in Japan as well, and has recently had a resurgence. Another mascot platformer as well, and previously PlayStation's unofficial mascot, and that is, you probably guessed by now, that is Crash Bandicoot. Now, I think Crash Bandicoot is just such a huge icon. Back in the PS1 days, of course, the classic Crash Bandicoot trilogy, or maybe I should say quadrilogy, with the Crash Team Racing as well. They were just huge games. Took off, just really took off. It was a worldwide phenomenon at one point, and it was so big to the point that in Japan, there was like a Japanese version of Crash Bandicoot. Of course, if you guys have seen the classic Crash Bandicoot dance that he does in the classic games, where like in Crash Bandicoot 2 when he gets the gems and stuff, that was actually created in Japan. In like the Japanese advertising, so again, it is really big in Japan. And again, I don't really give Western characters too much of a chance. I mean, there's been a few, like there's been Banjo Kazooie, and of course now we've had MINCECRAFT Steve. This is just in terms of DLC characters. If you want to get technical, I guess we've had King K. Rool, which was made in Britain by Rare, and alongside Dark Samus, which was made in USA as well. But no, in terms of like DLC third-party characters, I don't really think Western characters have a really good chance. But again, MINCECRAFT Steve and Banjo have kind of changed things in a way. So I kind of do hope Crash Bandicoot can find his way in Smash. If not in Ultimate, then maybe in a future Smash game or something. But I just think it's such a huge icon. I feel like he has to make it in at some point. But yeah, that was my number 2 pick. So finally, ending things off, TakuStar, what is your number 1 character, your most wanted character?
Okay, so this character isn't a third-party character, and also they said they're only doing third-party characters, didn't they?
They didn't confirm anything. I mean, to be honest, Min was already a first-party character, so we don't know, and Steve was third-party, so we're not too sure. But yeah, you can talk about any character.
My first, I want Isaac from Golden Sun.
Oh, right,
That's
right,
like,
Isaac, nice.
yeah, that's my pick. Like, yeah. So in my head, the word work could be like Isaac from Golden Sun 1 and Alex from Golden Sun 2. Obviously, their movesets are quite similar, so it would just be like a costume swap. And actually, just for fans to be like, oh yeah, Alex is in the game and Isaac's in the game. And I just think like Golden Sun just needs some type of resurgence, and I feel like him being included in Smash would be a great shout out. And obviously, I just think the series, he does deserve to be there as well, and not be a trophy.
Yeah, not just an assist trophy. I see what you mean. I was gonna say, so I know Golden Sun does have like its cult following, and I know it's kind of tragic because he was revealed as an assist trophy back in Ultimate. But Sakurai did mention, he said he was kind of surprised that so many people were upset when he was revealed as an assist trophy. So I think at the end of the day, he knows that there's a following there of Golden Sun fans. So, and again, even since like Smash Wii U, a lot of people have been calling for Isaac to appear in Smash Brothers. So again, Golden Sun again. As you guys might know, I'm not really huge on a huge RPG guy. I don't dislike them, but I just don't play many RPGs. But Isaac and Golden Sun is the name of an RPG that I hear quite a lot. So I think the character is kind of gaining iconic status as like a classic character. So if I had to bet, I'd probably say we will see Isaac at some point. If not in Ultimate, then definitely in the future Smash Brothers iterations. But anyway. Moving on to my number one pick, and I have to admit there were a lot of characters I wanted to choose as well. I mostly just stuck to third-party characters, so yeah.
I think
but
I know
anyway,
who it is.
I think you probably do know this one. But anyway, this one of course is a classic character. He's been going since the 80s. Also modern versions as well, and one in the modern games is probably one of my favorite games of all time, if not my favorite game of all time. We have the one and only Super Ninja, Ryu Hayabusa. Now, again, TakuStar, you probably already know that I'm a huge Ninja Gaiden fan. I did play the classic games. They were crazy. I got absolutely destroyed by the classic games. And then I tried to play some of the modern games, and equally I got destroyed as well. But recently I went back and I played a bit of Ninja Gaiden Black just a few years ago, and that game was incredible. Like I said, probably one of my favorite games of all time. And I love the hack and slash genre as well, so I thought that was great, like really good. But just Ryu Hayabusa, his origins were on the NES. I mean, I know of course there was the Ninja Gaiden arcade game as well, but the one that really took off was the classic NES one. So he's kind of like a classic NES icon, alongside the fact that his series was rebooted for the Xbox, and Ninja Gaiden Black was also a huge critically and commercially acclaimed game as well. So again, I think he's like a really huge icon. I think his moveset would work really well as well. Ninja, like he has like fire abilities and stuff like that, fire Nimpo and windmill shurikens. And I mean, he's a ninja, guys. Who doesn't want to see a ninja in Smash? Another ninja in Smash Bros. We only have Sheik and Greninja, so we need another true ninja. Mm-hmm. But yeah, as I was saying, I'd probably be here all day if I was talking about his moveset potential and everything. So I'll just say that Ninja Gaiden, a Nintendo classic in my opinion, and a game it's kind of been similar reasons for you as well. Like with Isaac, his series kind of been dormant for the past few years, and his last outing, which was the game we try not to mention, aka Yaiba, Ninja Gaiden Yaiba. I don't even know if many people know about that game, but it was not a good game. It was kind of like a spin-off with the Ninja Gaiden titles.
I wouldn't even class it as a mainline. It was just a spin-off.
I tried.
Bad spin-off at that.
I tried to think of it like that as well. But even before Yaiba with Ninja Gaiden 3, that was kind of a disaster. I mean, they tried to solve some of the problems with Razor's Edge, which I think was a half-decent game, but it still wasn't the best. But I kind of want to see a Ninja Gaiden make another appearance at some point, and I think what better way than to start with Smash. But that was those were all of our top DLC character picks. Of course, there are quite a few first party picks as well that I would have picked. Like Isaac was one of them, for example. I know a lot of people want to see like Dixie Kong and Bandana Waddle Dee and Waluigi. Even Waluigi, I think, would be a good pick as well. But I tried to stick with the third parties in this instance. So yeah. But actually, before I end this off, I want to ask you, TakuStar, So we've spoke about our most wanted characters, and there are quite a few well-rounded characters. But if you had to pick one crazy pick, a character that for example, a character will never happen, but maybe just one of your personal favorite characters or something. I mean, who would you want to pick?
Who would I want to pick? Ooh,
yeah, so I kind of put you on the spot for this one, so it's fine if you wanna answer last. Or
would probably have to be. So I've been playing a lot of Nihon Falcon games, and
oh yeah,
one of the oldest action role playing games that's actually even a role action games of all time, even older than Zelda, is a game called Ys. So I think because obviously Ys has been around for ages, and obviously it's not famously known worldwide, but in Japan it's got a fairly cult following, and I think Ado, because obviously of his longevity in the industry in Japan, would be well welcomed into the Smash roster personally, but that'll probably never happen anyway. So yeah.
Well, actually, I mean, it's a franchise I have heard of, and it is starting to gain popularity, isn't it? Like, it is starting to get a little bit bigger. So I don't think that one's out of the realm of possibility. Maybe not for now, but I think we could definitely see that character, or a character from Ys appearing at some point. But as you did say, at this point it is kind of looking unlikely. But that is our crazy pick, or your crazy pick. Now for my crazy pick, I think this might even be crazier, or maybe even more niche. But
Leisure Suit Larry.
nah, I'm not that crazy. I wouldn't be that low. But no disrespect to the Leisure Suit Larry fans out there, but not on my list. But no, for me, my pick would be a character known as Trace, and that's from the indie game Axiom Verge. By Thomas Happ. I mean, again,
number
I think
2 just got delayed recently, didn't it?
It did, yeah. Unfortunately, it did get delayed. That was kind of upsetting. But I mean, again, I'm a huge Metroidvania fan. I love the classic Metroid style games, and I kind of think this game really captured the Metroidvania style the best out of any. Well, I mean, there was also games like The Messenger as well, but I think this one was up there in terms of like Metroidvania style games that really captured like Metroid's atmosphere. But again, I just think it's such a niche pick. I mean, he's an indie character for starters. I don't think he got huge popularity.
Well, he could get. Didn't Toby Fox's thingy get Smash?
Like a me costume.
So you never know. I was gonna say, I just remembered I've got a bone to pick with you. You still haven't played Castlevania yet. Any of the
Castlevania. I mean, I've oh yeah, that's true. I mean, I've played the original one on NES, but I haven't really
play Symphony of the Night. Definitely.
I hear a lot of people saying Symphony of the Night, because I mean, I think that's the game in the series that started to coin the Metroidvania term, wasn't it? Because I think before that it didn't really have like a Metroid style gameplay, but it's Symphony of the Night. Now, I always hear great things about that game. I have to go back and I have to play it at some point. But man,
I think you really enjoyed it, because what was that? The last there was that game you were playing, the platform with the ninja before.
Oh, the Messenger.
Yeah, I think if you enjoy that, I think you definitely enjoy Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, I probably would. I honestly probably would. I don't know why I haven't gone back and played it. It's just maybe because I've heard so many good things from everyone, and I'm thinking, oh no, it can't live up to the expectations. It can't live up to the hype that everyone's mentioned. But but no, The Messenger was, again, that's probably my favorite indie game of all time. Like, it starts off like Ninja Gaiden, and it ends like Metroid. So again, if you're a fan of the classic Ninja Gaiden games or Metroid, you're gonna. I probably think you'd love that style of game. But back to Axiom Verge again. It was again, that was probably my second favorite Metroidvania style game. But again, it's only an indie game, so I don't think it's going to get too much. And maybe not even a Mii costume. I don't know if it's that big, because Undertale got seriously big, so that makes sense. But I mean, the glitch, for me, in my opinion, the glitch gun. I don't know if anyone's heard of the glitch gun, but it's like a gun which glitches out items in the games, and it causes all sorts of weird effects. It kind of looks like a classic game, like, think Masingo from Pokemon. It causes some really weird effects and stuff like that. But I mean, that alone would want me to put him in as a playable character. But alas, just one of my crazy picks. But anyway, that about sums up everything, I think, or all the stuff I wanted to talk about today. How do you feel, TakuStar? Anything else you wanted to add?
Oh, I think that's about it. I
Yeah.
don't really. Yeah, it's a bit quiet. Yeah, I managed to get my hands on the PS4 and played a bit. So
Nice,
that was
nice.
yeah.
Living
So,
that
yeah.
living that early PS4 life. Us mortals, us normal people have to wait in another month. But anyway, before we get too far off topic and end up creating another podcast at the end, I'll just say thanks again for watching, everyone. TakuStar, where can they find you?
TakuStar at Twitter, and yeah, that's when you can find me. And I actually created an Instagram as well now.
Oh, nice. You're
Yes.
expanding.
Yeah, expand. Yeah, so I've actually been using my Instagram more just because it's a bit more visual. So you can find me at taku.mav. So again, taku.mav on Instagram. On Twitter, you can find me at takustar_1. So yeah, those are the two best way to contact me. But obviously, I think Instagram is probably the best way because I've just been like following like loads of like visual graphic design people and just looking at their work. So yeah, yeah.
You can find a lot of interesting pictures on Instagram. I just need to get around to actually using mine because I think I haven't activated or I haven't logged in like nearly a year now. But anyway, I'll have all of your details in the description below as well. As I was saying, thanks again for watching, everyone. Let us know who do you think. I mean, I know a lot of people have a lot of thoughts on DLC characters and like pretty much characters they want to see. So just let us know in the comments, who would you like to see? Were there any major characters you think we left out in our lists? Or just let us know. Anyway, as I said, if you enjoyed this, please leave a like and subscribe. Every like and subscribe helps out majorly. And before I end up creating another podcast yet again, I'll just say I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.